What's going on, everybody? Average Arcader here, and I am joined today by my good friend here. His full name is the Redstone Scientist. He is the creative director of Everbloom. Am I correct?
Yes, creative director and project manager.
And project manager. He's joining me today for a short interview about himself and Everbloom. I want to thank him and all the good people over at Everbloom for doing this. They are our Spotlight studio, so make sure to go check them out. I'll be leaving a link to their playlist so that if you want to check out more of their awesome content, you can. That'll be going on for at least 4 weeks. Next week, we'll be doing another team member. I believe in your note you said that would be the art director, correct?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, she'll be here next time.
So I did this whole entire thing so that we can get to know these awesome people behind the maps and add-ons that we play. So many of us don't know just how hard these guys work and just how cool they are. So I created this segment so that we can get to know them. So we're going to ask the Redstone Scientist here some questions so that we can get to know him a little bit better. Are you ready?
I think so.
Okie dokie. So, very first question you kind of already answered was, who are you?
I am the Redstone Scientist. My real name is Elon Comrade, and I am the creative director and project manager of Everbloom Games and Everbloom Studios.
Now, how big is Everbloom?
So Everbloom Studios, which is sort of like the umbrella company, and then Everbloom Games is within that, is about 42 people total, I believe. And some of those people are independent contractors, and some of them are full-time employees.
Okie dokie. Now, how long have you been at Everbloom, or are you a founder?
So Everbloom existed for about 7 years before the marketplace. And it was a build team. So they made their money off of, server build commissions and stuff like that. And in fact, one of the we were all asked to make a build for one of the Minecraft story mode episodes. I don't know which one, but one of our builds is in there. And it was a totally different team at that time. A lot of people, sort of doing it as a hobby, making some extra money on the side. And then I was asked to create basically they had a server commission build that they did that sort of never worked out, or maybe it was for a contest, I don't remember. And they said, well, why don't we have somebody make this into a game? So they found me through my YouTube channel, The Redstone Scientist, and they contacted me and said, we'd like you to basically turn this map into a build battle. And I did, and I was really happy with it. And then I submitted it to Realms. This is Java Realms. And I realized that I submitted the wrong copy, and I lost the right copy. So that map is lost forever. But anyway, after that, around that time is when the marketplace came out, or where there were rumblings about the marketplace before it was announced. And the CEO, Matthew Banks, and Tom Van Berkel asked me, like, look, well, we need we're just builders, and we want to put together a development team. We think that this is going to be a really lucrative thing in the future. We think this is sort of the future of Minecraft, and we'd like you to build a development team. And I very reluctantly agreed because, like a lot of people at the time, I was very skeptical about the marketplace. I don't remember any of my reasons, but I was. But eventually I agreed. I contacted some of my friends from the community, people I'd worked with in the past, said, would you like to join our development team? First grabbed something in the background there?
Yeah, that was my neighbor who...
oh, okay.
I can't curse, so I...
I invited Red's Kingdom, and he was our first developer. And pretty soon we grew and grew. We invited more artists, more builders. People came and went. We've, really refined our team over time. And at the time, I was sort of just the lead developer. And then, and I was working on Jurassic Depths, which is no longer available in the marketplace. But that was our first map, and we sort of wanted to revolutionize what people were doing. We're seeing all this stuff in the marketplace, and we're like, man, nobody is doing like big blockbuster content. We can totally do better than this. And so I think we may have been the one, if not the first, one of the first maps to ever do voiceover, to have a long story, and it was a massive thing. Before we had to invent a lot of our own tools and stuff. This is before a lot of stuff. This is before. This is back in 1.2, I think.
Okay, so
And
there weren't creative packages or guide engines or anything like that going on at the time.
No. So yeah, that's a very recent development that there's any guidance whatsoever. And we all came from Java, so that's all we knew. And anyway, it was very frustrating working back then. Things have gotten easier now. They're still frustrating. But anyway, Jurassic Depths was sort of our big breakout thing, and we've been growing from there. After Jurassic Depths, we had I won't speak ill of the people who are gone, but we kicked somebody out. I came in as a manager, and then our roles kind of got refined over time until I sort of just became in charge of the production of marketplace content. So I no longer do a lot of development like in the game. I'm mostly in charge of the creative direction of things. What projects are we going to do? Pre-production on those projects, designing those projects, making sure people are doing what they're supposed to be doing, deadlines, administrative stuff. But overall, just sort of making sure that the quality of our content is top notch, and that we are, I take very much a producer role.
Yeah, I get you. I get you. Well, I'm very happy that you did go ahead and do that, because without studios like you guys, truthfully, I don't think Minecraft would have kept going.
Wow, thank you.
I came out with a video that showed that the marketplace and studios like you are what keep Minecraft going. That's why it survived for so long. Because of the backup support of people who took the time to start modding and start creating things outside of just vanilla. So it contributes from you guys and studios like you and creators like you that keep us going. And I wouldn't even be able to have my channel because Minecraft wouldn't be here.
That's really great to hear. Thank you. It's I believe that we're doing something to really make a difference. That a lot of people are like, it's just entertainment. What's the big deal? We've received emails from people largely about Nightmare in Candy World because it became such a staple because of Realms Plus. And we've received a lot of emails about people, even though they're like bug support things. These maps mean a lot to people. A mom reached out to us and said something like, her son, who was on the spectrum, who plays Nightmare in Candy World every single day, and noticed something had changed and wanted us to fix it. And people seem to really have an emotional attachment to what we do, and that's really great to see. And as you probably already know, one of the staples of our studio is we often try and really say something meaningful. We have a very unique opportunity to reach a lot of kids, a lot of people, and so we try and say something meaningful, whether it's about xenophobia and racism, like in Nightmare in Candy World, or forgiveness in Space Adventure. We try and use our platform for good.
I really like Space Adventure, by the way. I have that. I haven't done a video on it because I played it long before I started the channel. But I had so much fun with that one. With Space Adventure. That was a really good one. I just wanted to say that.
Thank you.
So, what would you say, was that like your first entry into gaming, being on that build team, or did you have another start?
I was not on the build team. So I was not involved at all in Everbloom before the Realms thing.
Okay.
But I largely was involved with in my YouTube channel, where I did a lot of Redstone tutorials. I had a series called Mastering Minecraft, teaching people about command blocks in a sort of this highly produced fashion. And so I was sort of noticed through my production and my documentation, my tool design. I became known for a tool called Cutscene Pro. and the vanilla cutscene generator, which allowed people in Java map making to make their own cutscenes, which is also something that I think we've really pioneered on the marketplace, is cutscenes. That a lot of people are doing that now. And so I'd always been, interested in gaming, and from a very young age, and um, I'd been in the early days of the marketplace. I was transferring colleges to get a degree in game design, but I definitely had a background which I was able to apply. Yeah.
Okay, that's cool. So, what would you say is Everbloom's greatest strength when it comes to their maps? Like, what do they do better than anybody else?
Story and sometimes polish. I mean, yes, polish, but also other teams can definitely compete on that. I don't think anybody can compete with us on stories. I think that we put so much time, effort. We have a full-time writer on the team. We care so deeply about storytelling, about making sure that we we have interesting characters, we have an engaging plot. That, I mean, there are a lot of things that we like to focus on, but I think to sum it all up, really storytelling is our focus, even in the ones that don't really have a story, like motorbikes.
Yeah.
That didn't really have a story, but you can really think of everything as storytelling in terms of user experience. And so our user experience, I think, is also really top notch. That we really focus on what is the process that the player is going to go through, what are they going to see, in what order are they going to see it, how can we make sure that they understand how can we make their experience as enjoyable as possible. So I think that storytelling and UX really go hand in hand.
Yes, and I would totally agree with you guys. There are, like you said, there are other studios that maybe take the time to put the polish in, but their stories don't really come close to Everbloom's. That's something that
I mean,
always
we
kind of gets
try.
my attention.
We're constantly trying to improve our polish, and I think we really have, especially in recent maps with glitch parkour and mutant caves, and pretty much everything that you're going to be seeing from us during this creator spotlight is just polished the crap out of it.
Yeah, yeah. Oh, I always thought you guys had a good amount of polish before. I don't really run into that many glitches when I play your maps. I can't even really think of any off the top of my head that were I game changing glitches. For the most part, I can play your guys's and it runs pretty smooth. It's still Minecraft, so it's
Yes.
it's
That's something that we're also really proud of. Is we're one of the few studios that has its own dedicated QA team. We had sort of a volunteer beta tester program for a while, and then our most active tester, Mr. Sinner, did a very smart thing where he was basically saying, I feel like I've been here for a while. I've kind of been wanting to move up, but it seems like this isn't going anywhere. So I'm out. Peace. And I was like, wait. What if we can find something for you to do? And I'm like, what if you start a QA team? And he's like, maybe. And yeah, so he's now hired full time. He's constructed a QA team with people from his own life and people online, and his wife also works with us as our human relations director. And yeah, that we put a lot of time and effort into that. I'm often disappointed by some of the glitches that you see in other maps. Like this could have easily been caught.
Oh, it happens to the best of studios. It's hard.
For sure.
It's really hard because there's a lot of factors that are outside of your testing realm. Is what by doing this so long, if I've been doing it now, I've noticed that I have two main computers, and I'll have a glitch, and then the other one won't have that glitch. And for the life of me and whoever studio I'm working with at the time, we won't be able to figure out why. It could be so minute. It might not be on your side.
Yeah,
it could be on the computer
side. There's a lot
side.
of frustration that we have with that, but we've got all the devices. We have multiple Xboxes and PlayStations and, all the different phones and everything. And there's a lot of testing that has to be done on those things. I really admire those guys. I don't know. I could not do it. I would not have the patience or fortitude for it.
Well, it's good you have
The
them
work
because
that they do.
they do their job really well, and I must commend them because
They do.
I don't, like I said, for the most part, I don't really run into issues when I play an Everbloom map.
That's wonderful to hear, and I'm sure they will love to hear that as well. They're really uh, they're really the heroes of Everbloom, as they are, as QA is with most game studios, the unsung heroes.
Yes, they are, because if you get a game that runs smoothly, it's because of them.
That's right.
Okay, so do you think, right, because right now you guys kind of run the genres of different games that you make, add-ons. You don't have one type you stick with. You do always make sure to add a story. Would you ever get to the point where you think you guys would focus on like a single style of game, or will you always kind of be like trying different ones, mixing it up?
Well, from a business perspective, we're mixing it up because we need to find something that works. And the market is so infuriatingly unpredictable, and more so than just the standard, markets that you would see normally, because people are so tight-lipped about everything. You never know when first-party content's going to come out. You never know when somebody's got a big thing coming out. You never know what's going to be a hit. You never know what's going to be the next, modern furniture. And so everything we do, I won't give away our secret, but we've got like internal design pillars that we hold up, that we use to design everything we do. So things are in common with those design pillars, but everything has to have everything has to reach our high level of quality, in that everything has to feel like an Everbloom product,
Yeah.
And I think we're still feeling out what that style is exactly. Our style is definitely storytelling, good UX, but that's something that really game designers will notice more than the average player. And so I think we're still trying to figure out what our style is that is player facing, if that makes sense.
Yes, I know what you mean.
Yeah, but if we find something that consistently works, which I doubt we will, because things just don't consistently work on the marketplace.
The marketplace is a very interesting beast. I've gotten decently well at picking up on the mods and the add-ons that will do well, but even I'm still surprised all the time.
Well, look, I'll tell you this: basically the number one, if not the only thing that determines success, is the editorial, the placement of it on the store when you open up the store, and then number two is the key art. Is it interesting?
Yeah.
Is it eye grabbing? Basically, nothing else matters. So we try and make sure, though, that if you see Everbloom on something, you're going to get something that is going to be really special.
Yes, and that and it works, because when I forget which was the very first map of yours I played, but I could start picking up on it when I saw Everbloom. Like I say, Everbloom does a good job. I think Dinosaur Dig. I think it was Dinosaur Dig was the very first one I did that really got my attention, and I started paying attention to Everbloom. And I could start seeing your guys' kind of fingerprint, per se, on the maps.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we were just talking about this yesterday, actually, about how we can make that fingerprint a little bit more distinct. And because, if people play a lot of our maps, they'll definitely see it. But for example, Cyclone, right? They have a really clear fingerprint. Something is theirs.
Yeah, you do.
Yeah. So that's something that we'd like to focus on in the future, is having more of a distinct fingerprint. But at the same time, I think that, the fans that we have really, there's a lot of excitement whenever we have a new map, not just because, it's a new map, but because you really don't know what you're going to get with us, because whatever it is, it's going to be good. It's going to be worth your time. And we really like to appeal to a lot of different audiences, a lot of different people. So One of the things, I believe the last one that you're going to be covering for the Creator Spotlight, which I won't say the name of right now, that's sort of a new audience for us. We're trying to, we're aiming at a totally different audience, and I hope it really pays off. We also, for our own personal development, we love mixing it up. But our signature and our flagship items, the things we will hold up as this is Everbloom, are those big stories: the Enderman heists, Prison Escape, Nether Monster Hunter, Nightmare in Candy World, um, The Witch's Stew, um, Space Adventure.
Mm-hmm.
Those are the ones that's that really defines Everbloom.
And don't forget about the
You
cave.
know,
Don't forget about the cave one.
yes, Mutant
The
Caves.
mutant cave one.
These things are like those are the blockbuster pieces, as we call them. Those, even though they may not sell like blockbusters, they're produced like them. Those are the ones we pour a lot of time and money into. Those are the ones that make Everbloom what it is. The rest of the stuff, while it's also really, really good, and we put a lot of effort and time into it, that's bolstering our catalog to boost up those blockbuster ones.
Exactly. And I hope you guys continue to do that. I think another part of your fingerprint, I think, is the mechanics. You guys
Yeah.
don't rest on just, okay, they're in this world, you run, you fight something, you're done. You add actual game mechanics into it, which is definitely something not a lot of the studios are doing. To actually give somebody something more to do than just walk around or look at something or maybe fight something. You know what I mean?
Well, I mean, and I think you'll see this with all of the major successful studios, is that you know you've got to treat this market like a proper market. You've got to give it the respect, because it's very easy to cough cough wink wink nudge nudge release Among Us ripoff content every week.
Yeah, exactly.
And rip off countless other things and sell, Skyblock, Skyblock, Skyblock for everything. It's very easy to do that and to get quantity over quality. But, we believe that we've got to, in order for a healthy marketplace to exist, there have to be people like us and Nox Crew and Game Mode 1 and Cyclone that are looking at things and say, no, we're a proper game design studio. Like, we're gonna make you a game. We're gonna make you a game. We'll glaze it, bring it fresh out of the oven for you.
Now, speaking of that, what would you say? Who would you say is, other than your own studio? Who would you say is your favorite studio outside of
Game Mode
Everbloom?
1.
Game Mode 1.
Game Mode 1. Yeah. So actually, the manager of Game Mode 1, or the owner of it, is actually went to school with our CEO, just as a coincidence.
Cool.
And we've shared notes in the past, and they've just got some really impressive content.
Yes, they do. I think I started paying attention to Game Mode 1 when the free maps came out and they did Bloom. That was actually my first time I was introduced to them. And then Ultimate Dragons came out, and that was a really good dragon mod. I had a lot of fun with that, and I even had the privilege of interviewing I think the head designer and their media head, while we were playing that. It was really fun because they also did How to Train Your Dragons. So I would definitely, I would definitely say they're definitely one of the studios I admire.
Mm-hmm.
So do you think that Everbloom would ever get to the point where maybe they become a full on indie studio and start creating stuff with other engines, or would you think you'll always stay on Minecraft?
I mean, that's always been the plan, and we have started developing mobile apps in the past. It's just that we've gotten sidetracked. But yeah, that is the plan. That we do want to move into that. We want to expand and diversify.
That would be great. I would really like to see what you guys could create. Say, using either like Unity or uh, what's the other big one? I say it all the time and I can't think of it right now. Unreal.
Unreal.
There we go. I'd love to see what you guys could do with that Unity or Unreal. Okie dokie. So now this might be a tough question for you. What is your favorite add-on?
Glitch parkour.
Glitch parkour was your favorite one?
Mm-hmm.
What did you like about that one over the other ones you did?
Uh, it's so different. It's so unique, and it's got all of these amazing effects that you've really that you've never seen before.
Now, I must say, I did enjoy my playthrough of it, even though, as you know, I have a very strong disdain for parkour. But
But Nightmare in Candy World will always have a very special place in my heart. I enjoy it every time I play it, and it's a historical piece for us. It's still being played to this day. My good friend plays the main character in it. It's um,
I really like the
that's
story. The
very
story, I did
special
like the
for
story
us.
that you guys did in that one. But like I said, I did enjoy it. For it being a parkour map, I did enjoy it. I did enjoy it.
Um, yeah.
So that's cool. Now, I did want to talk a little bit. You mentioned Prison Escape, and without doing any spoilers, I did want to talk a little bit about it. Um, Now, how long were you guys working on Prison Escape?
Well, it's complicated. Uh, Prison Escape had a different story, and it was blocked by Microsoft. It was too dark. Originally, I don't know if I'm supposed to say this, but whatever. Originally, you the story was about Danny, who ends up becoming Speaks, becoming getting to where he is, and you push the Baron off the roof, and he dies.
Oh,
And it was all done, animated, submitted, and everything. We had to work with Microsoft to get a different script going. We had to re-record stuff. In retrospect, of course, it wasn't allowed, but we're always kind of pushing the boundaries of those things in terms of the darkness of our stories.
they didn't
And
like the fact that you had somebody actually kill somebody.
Well, it was more the issue that the player was the one taking the action to kill someone, and that you were forced to do so.
Gotcha.
That they didn't want the player involved in it, even though the whole point was the player needed to feel bad about it. And basically, we were told players not allowed to feel bad, which is kind of ridiculous. But I digress.
Yeah, I get you. Sometimes the Microsoft restrictions that some of these people have told me about, I don't fully agree with.
Yeah. Anyway, I don't really know how long we were working on it, because then there was also a hiatus that we had, and then it was sort of stuck in limbo for a while. I don't really have a good answer for that.
No, it's okay. That happens with game development.
Mm-hmm.
So
We tend to finish stuff many months before it releases.
yeah, yeah. So what is your favorite character in Prison Escape?
In Prison Escape, well, obviously it's got to be Speaks, right? Obviously Danny Speaks. Whatever his name is. Obviously that's got to be the best character of all time. We were doing an Everbloom D&D thing a while ago,
Uh-huh.
and my character was Speaks, and gave him a backstory and everything. So that was while we were working on Prison Escape, so that was kind of fun. So I got to be much darker with his actual backstory,
As dark as you can get.
Yeah.
So how did you come up with the idea to do a stealth style game? Because I think that's your first stealth-like game that you guys have done, right?
No, the Enderman Heists, the Prison Escape spoiler turns out to be a prequel to the Enderman Heists. which is available on Realms Plus, and it's pretty much the exact same game. The thing is that we originally also Prison Escape was again with Enderman. Enderman, not those troll things. We had to come up with that at the last minute because the Endermen were the guards, just like they were in Enderman Heists. But apparently, you're not allowed to show Minecraft mobs in a politically compromising position, such as
A prison.
involved in prison, but also the mafia. We couldn't say Enderman Mafia, even though we said it all the time in the Enderman Heists. We couldn't say it in this, and we had to change, the wording of mob and stuff to like organized crime. The whole joke is that the word mob is like, Minecraft mob.
Yeah, I get you.
But uh, the skeleton is still at the end of it, so like it still works. It still leads into the story. But
It's not a
it's
mob.
supposed to be an
It's not
Enderman
the skeleton
prison.
mob. It's the skeleton family.
Skeleton family, yes, but I mean, that sets up the next one, which it's already out. So what are you gonna do?
It is what it is, but I
Yeah.
like it. I think it still works.
Yeah, I think it turned out for the best. Yeah.
Yeah, I think it did turn out way for the best. Way for the best. Do you think you'll ever? Cause I actually never got a chance to play Enderman Heist. I never actually got a chance to play that. So that was my first experience with you guys' stealth.
Oh, and so the question about how we come up. So the developer Blue Code had for a long time been working on a prototype for a stealth game, and we used Hitman as an inspiration a lot. We use Hitman as an inspiration a lot for our level design in general. The idea of this Swiss cheese level design where you have a lot of entrances and exits. And Wonder could tell you more about that in his interview. But basically, that prototype had developed over, and we turned it into the Enderman Heists. And we wanted to do. We loved the characters so much. We wanted to see what happened with where they came from. We wanted to explore their story. And so Blue Code sort of redesigned the stealth systems and improved them, and made some tools for builders to be able to create their own levels, and we iterated upon those. It was a really great process on Prison Escape.
Okay, very nice, very nice. Okay, Shoki. So we're kind of running out of time because I think we're at 30 minutes now, and I don't want to hold you up for too long.
Sure.
So do you think you'll ever revisit these characters again?
Maybe. I mean, maybe not John. I feel like, or Monty. Like, I feel like we've kind of explored Monty. I would love to explore Speaks more, but the story that we had created in our heads of him having killed someone and having to deal with that trauma, that having been changed, we would have to sort of rethink the direction of Speaks. But we might revisit him. I'm not sure right now. Not anytime soon.
No. Okay. Understandable. Understandable. Well then, I had a lot of fun. I think this went really, really well.
Yes, thank you so much for having me.
Well, thank you so much for coming. I really appreciate it. I know you guys are busy because you constantly have things coming out.
Yes, we have many projects going at one time.
So I really appreciate all of you guys taking the time to actually come on. I do look forward to our art director, which was Ninja, correct?
Yes, Tian will be here for the next release.
That will be next week, and it'll probably come out. This one should be coming out Friday, so that one should be coming out probably around next Friday. But also, I definitely recommend you guys go check out Prison Escape if you haven't already. It is totally worth it. It's a very good. Even if you haven't played the the prequel for it, it stands on its own in story and gameplay. So definitely go check that out. I'll be leaving a link to their playlist, and I'll be leaving a link to the Redstone Scientist channel if you want to check that out as well. So thanks once again, Redstone Scientist, for joining.
Thank you so much.
Thank you guys for watching, and make sure to stay tuned during this spotlight segment as we show more of the awesome team from Everbloom and their creations. But until next
Got
time,
some
I'm
really
Average
fun stuff
Arcader.
coming up.
Take it easy.